Today on We Are Austin, we're road tripping in San Antonio. I'm excited to check out La Cantera Resort and Spa, have a little fun at Ripley's Believe It or Not, and enjoy a Riverwalk dinner at Boudreauxs Texas Bistro. But first, I need somewhere for B to stay while I'm away, and I have found just the perfect spot. Let's check it out. Ready to go, B? Let's do it.
This segment is sponsored by Bed and Biscuit.
Here at Bed and Biscuit, they treat your pets like family, which is great because when I'm out road tripping, I want to make sure B here has a safe and fun staycation. They've got 2 locations in Austin, so we're about to pop in and meet Kara to see what makes this spot so special. Ready, B? Okay, let's go. Well, Kara, we're so excited to be out here at Bed and Biscuit. Kara, this is B, by the way. B,
Hi,
this is Kara.
Welcome to Bed and Biscuit.
Thank you so much for having us out here. You know, when a pet parent is headed on vacation, of course we're very excited, but you always really want to make sure that your pup is really well taken care of and that they have a vacation too. And that's exactly what's happening here at Bed and Biscuit. Tell us how this all started.
Well, I used to be in the tech industry and I really was passionate about dogs and working with dogs. I really saw a need for something more like a higher standard, higher quality of care.
Right.
So I got a little bit of help from my mentor, and we really looked at the stress level of the dogs. What I learned is that when you take a dog out of their normal environment, normal routine, it can introduce some stress. So while we do want to have a lot of fun here and meet friends and socialize, we also want to pay really close attention to that stress level as we change their daily routine. We want to make that transition as smooth as possible.
That's really smart, and I think minimizing that stress level is because, you know, we think that when we leave them at the boarding place, we're like, oh, I'm gonna miss you, but what are they thinking? Are you gonna come back? Well, how long am I gonna be here? So you really try to kind of make that process painless.
Yes, yes. So the first step is just like a day of daycare, so the dog can kind of check the place out and the owners can check the place out.
Smart.
And that way everybody can get comfortable with what we're doing. The dog has a short, fun experience. Their owner comes back, everything's great.
Yeah.
So then when they come back for boarding, they feel ready and they feel familiar and they know that the people are nice and that they had a good time last time and they met some friends. We want to start with that. While they're here, we also want to look at the stress signs that the dogs show us while they're in the kennel and try to do as much as we can to get them more comfortable. We want to give them their bed from home, their toys from home, and just kind of make it a really cozy spot for them while their owners are out of town.
Some familiarity, I think, is really, really important. And I also wanted to point out, you hear that? I don't either. It's so quiet here. That's a very special part of what you do.
Yeah, along the lines of the, making the dogs comfortable, a side effect of that is a quieter kennel. So the individualized care, looking at each dog, kind of giving them what they need and making sure their stress is as low as possible. We just tend to have a calmer, quieter kennel overall. It's just an indication to us that the dogs are relaxed.
So pet parents know by how quiet it is that their pet kiddo is going to go into a nice, comfortable environment. Very cool. Once I do leave B today, what's the next step? What happens?
We're gonna find the right spot for her in our facility. That's the first step. We're gonna look at how she responds to being here, make sure we see, that she's acclimating well. We'll take her out in the play yards and introduce her to some friends with similar size and similar temperament or play style, and just make sure that she's having a really good experience while she's outside.
I love that, and she's a pretty easy dog, I'm sure. But even if you did have some who preferred maybe not to be so social, you're prepared to handle that too, right?
Yes, some of our dogs really prefer human friends, and so we can accommodate that as well. We take them out just with us and our staff and give them extra attention and love and play with them without them having to be around other dogs.
Well, and you know what's great about this too is I could come back to B, who's been freshly bathed and her nails clipped and everything. You offer that here too?
Yes, yes. At the end of a lot of boarding stays, owners choose to get a bath and a nail trim, and we also do that just kind of as a drop-in service as well.
Well, that is super handy. You can come back to a fresh pet, a happy pet who's had a wonderful vacation. If somebody would have any reservations at all about, I don't know the place and I've never left my dog with anybody else, what would you say to them to ensure them that this really is the perfect spot?
Just our attention to that stress level is really unique, attention to comfort. So we just want to gather as many details as possible and look at each individual dog and the unique care that they need.
Oh, well, she needs lots of care because she's a giver for sure.
We track what we call special needs. So we're tracking in like special details about each dog, like health issues, or maybe they have thunderstorm anxiety or firework anxiety. So we're going to take steps to make sure they're as comfortable as possible when those events happen, or maybe they have an ear infection that they're still treating, things like that. So we just want to gather as many details as possible. At Bed and Biscuit, we treat every dog like family. We really focus on the individualized care, and that allows us to have a quieter, calmer kennel and give each dog the unique care they need.
Well, it sounds like the perfect place to bring your pets. I'm glad Bee is here.
Yes.
Let's get her started so I can get on my vacation and she can have her staycation.
Awesome.
Let's go, Bee. Well, Bee is all settled in for her staycation here at Bed and Biscuit, and I am ready for my adventure to begin. We Are Austin Road Trippin' from San Antonio starts right after this break.
Have you been serious?
Hello and welcome to We Are Austin. I'm Trevor Scott, and today we are road tripping to San Antonio. You know, it's the second most populous city in Texas, and it's pretty easy to see why. San Antonio offers a rich culture, really terrific food, and a ton of fun to explore. And best of all, it's under 2 hours from Austin. And I, for one, am ready to start our adventure. Co-pilot? Check. Road trip snacks and drinks? Check. San Antonio, here we come. In San Antonio, you have to visit the Alamo. It is a must-see, even if you've seen it before. It's an incredible slice of Texas history, and they even offer free tours. And you know that saying, remember the Alamo? Well, you're going to remember the rest of the fun stuff we have planned for this trip. We're exploring a spot in the heart of downtown where the strange and unusual, well, that's just the norm. It's Ripley's Believe It or Not Auditorium, which is full of a bizarre collection that you just have to see to believe, or not. Well, you can't come to San Antonio without checking out the Riverwalk. And you can't check out the Riverwalk without going to Boudreauxs. It's one of the most famous restaurants on the water, and we've got a table for you. Hope you're hungry. And usually she's on our show back in Austin, but now we're on Tangi Patton's turf, and she's sharing her top tips for a great time in San Antonio. But first, you'll need a place to stay for your road tripping adventures, and we have the perfect spot. Are you guys ready to check out our luxurious home away from home here in Hill Country? Let's go.
This segment is sponsored by Cantera Resort and Spa.
Welcome to Cantera Resort and Spa. It is a hill country oasis. The main resort features beautiful guest rooms, several dining options, 5 pools, and add to that 36 holes of championship golf and the out-of-this-world Loma de Vida Spa and Wellness, and even tennis courts. It's true luxury with a little something for everyone. Check this out.
Recently renovated from top to bottom, Cantera is a true luxury escape. Outside, you'll find beautifully manicured grounds and breathtaking views at every turn. Inside, Cantera boasts an elegant selection of guest rooms and suites, several dining options, and the King Ranch-inspired Sire Bar with a whiskey selection that's sure to impress. And Cantera's attentive staff anticipates your every need for the perfect stress-free stay. And if you're looking for an even more exclusive getaway, Cantera has the perfect private option.
These are the villas at Cantera. There are 34 remote boutique-style accommodations that are all nestled in their own beautiful grounds. Many of the rooms feature beautiful hill country views, and all of the villas come complete with the benefits of a full luxury resort, including private arrival and check-in, plus a separate pool and hot tub with a poolside bar.
And if you're in search of some self-care, look no further than La Cantera's Loma de Vida Spa and Wellness. It's 20,000 square feet of next-level zen, immersed in nature and offering an outstanding selection of treatments, including massages, facials, fitness classes, and more. Relax by the private infinity pool or grab a snack at Quench, the in-spa juice bar and cafe. And for the ultimate spa experience, book a cozy private cabana with sweeping views or a romantic skyloft for two. La Cantera's Loma de Vida Spa and Wellness is truly a sanctuary you just have to see to believe.
Hi, my name is Patrick Bean, the General Manager of Signature Restaurant. This beautiful facility and the menu were crafted and conceived in the same way. They're fundamentally South Texas and south of France combined into an imaginative palette that includes elements from all over the world and centuries worth of antiques. It's a beautiful restaurant.
I think you guys know by now when I road trip, food is a very big part of it. And lucky, they got you covered here at La Cantera. I'm here with Chef Andrew Weissman, who's the man behind Signature, this beautiful restaurant. Are you guys seeing this space? Thanks for having us.
Sure, well, you're welcome. We're happy to have you all here.
This is a really beautiful space, and I'm assuming by the looks of this that the food is also beautiful. Tell me about this dish right off the bat, because I can't take my eyes off it.
So this is a dish, no pun intended, it's one of our signature dishes, and that is a gold leaf risotto, Parmesan risotto.
Wow.
The way it's prepared is when we cook the rice, utilizing the organic chicken stock, and then we add white wine. We finish it with a little bit of butter and Parmesan cheese. Once it's being plated, we add the gold leaf on top, and then we hit it with a little bit more Parmesan.
Excellent. All the things I love. I'm definitely going to dive in and have a quick bite of this. While I do that, can you tell me a little bit more about the menu here at Signature and what kind of informs your choices?
So, of course, you know, seasonal, locally appropriate items, things of that nature. All those things happen here at the restaurant, but something we're really proud of, we have a nice, beautiful garden in the back that we harvest a lot of produce for our kitchen. We've got a lot of people that grow and do things for us that show up at our back door, which are really unique. And it's a restaurant that really specializes in the best of class items that we can kind of find and curate.
Yeah, what a wonderful experience for the guests here at La Cantera. I have to tell you that it took every ounce of willpower for me not to just eat this entire bowl of risotto. That is a beautiful dish. If that's a taste of what we can have here at Signature, I am already sold. But you have another dish coming our way?
We do.
Excellent. What are we going to see?
We're going to see a gnocchi and rabbit dish.
Oh, well, then I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and we can get that out here.
Chef Laurent's bringing us the rabbit gnocchi dish.
This is beautiful. Chef, thank you so much. Excellent. Oh, wow. Tell me about this. It's
well,
wonderful.
What's great about this is it kind of marries our philosophy here. It's kind of the south of France meets the South Texas. And what we have here is gnocchi with a braised rabbit, a little bit of fried sage, and a rabbit jus, pan jus.
This is beautiful, and I really see how it kind of speaks to what you do here at Signature. What do you think is special about this space when guests come down the road and enjoy a meal here?
Well, beyond the food, the place is just spectacular. It's got such a great feel and an energy in here that it's just nice to be inside these four walls. So we're really proud of the aesthetic and the story that this tells. Just everything in here.
It really does. In addition to the food tells its own story, I really need to get out the menu so I can read this story, order up a few more things. Chef, thank you so much for introducing us. Cheers to you. And
Cheers.
How about you say we order up some dinner?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Stick around, we're hitting the links at La Cantera Golf Course and sampling one-of-a-kind whiskeys at the King Ranch-inspired Sire. Here's an SAT Extra. This is La Villita. It is a charming village full of shops, local art, and tons of history. In fact, if you love history, then you'll love San Antonio. It's home to 8 national historic landmarks. Road Trippin San Antonio continues after the break.
It's the...
This segment is sponsored by La Cantera Resort and Spa.
All right, so I'm here with Aaron Green, who's the director of golf for La Cantera. Were you born to do this? That name is great. That's pretty fun.
I get asked that quite a bit. And yes, I feel like I was born to do this.
It's a win-win for everybody. This is very, very cool. There are 36 holes of championship golf here at La Cantera, and it is a really beautiful place to be. What makes this so special?
It's at the beginning of the hill country in San Antonio. So as you get closer to La Cantera, you start seeing the big hills that you don't see in the main part of San Antonio. The 36 holes are very unique. You have the resort course, which we're standing on number 7, which has a beautiful view of Six Flags, Texas.
It's so cool.
It's a drivable par 4 for some, so it's a lot of fun that you can get on the resort course. And then we have our Palmer course, which is a little more challenging, and it's more of the player's course, and it has unbelievable views.
How do people feel special when they're golfing here?
Well, we try to live by the mantra of calling the guest by their name.
I like that.
So as you book your tee time, we put your name on the front of your cart. So when you come here, your name's already there. We try to call your names, get to know you, treat you as a member for a day. We do that with our resort guests, and we do that with our locals or anyone that's traveling to San Antonio that wants to play either one of our 2 golf courses.
That's a really special way to approach it, and I think everything you guys do here really does make the guests feel super special. If I'm not a great golfer, is this still a good option for me?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have a lot of options. We have our academy, which has 2 instructors, so if you want to learn how to play, we have that set up for you. We do clinics from time to time. We also offer 9 holes, 4-hole loops if you just want to play 4 holes and get out and play a little bit. We have a lot of options. The resort course is the friendliest of the 2 courses.
Okay.
So if you're a beginner, we always recommend it. But it's also good for the novice because we had a PGA Tour event here from 1995 to 2009.
Wow, that's impressive. Very cool. And you did mention this is probably one of the most unique holes of any golf course anywhere. I don't know of another one that overlooks an amusement park.
I've never seen one. It is definitely our signature hole in the resort.
Very cool. Fiesta, Texas, Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, right behind us. Well, this is a beautiful spot. I mean, I'm sure there are even more beautiful views to behold. I say we hop in a golf cart and go check it out. Aaron, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Very impressive place.
My pleasure.
Cool. 4. Not really. Well, Chris, I would venture to say that this is probably the happiest table at the resort currently.
Yes, I will agree with you there.
So you are the beverage manager for the hotel here, and you've got something very special happening here at Sire.
Yes, we do. We actually created a beautiful single barrel program through all of Kentucky and all of Scotland. You can only find these marks here at Sire and La Cantera Resort.
That's so special. How did that relationship come about?
So I went to Kentucky 3 years ago as a student for this thing called Camp Run-A-Muck. It's bartender education, and I just fell in love with it.
Oh, sure.
I went to this thing called a rick house, which is basically where they store barrels of bourbon, and they said, hey, you can buy one of these barrels for yourself. And I was like, I got to do that. So I came back to work and I said, this is an amazing opportunity. We can tell a story between all of the outlets, and especially the King Ranch story here at Sire.
Yeah.
And they said, go for it. So that's what we did.
And here we are.
Here we are.
So I love how a little bit of that King Ranch inspiration is woven throughout the entire resort, and certainly here. I say that we get into these things and have some tasting.
Sure. We're going to start with the ones that inspired the whole entire program.
Okay, great.
So what we're going to start with is from Whistle Pig. Unique thing about them is they tailored the taste we are looking for in each single barrel. Oh. There's 2. So there's a straight rye, which is this one. Okay. This is called Bold Venture. The second one is our King Ranch blend. This blend is really unique. It has 3 different barrels that the rye was finished in: port, Madeira, as well as South Turns. I figured after a long day of working on the ranch, this is what you would want to drink.
I think that you're right. I've had a long day on the golf course and exploring this wonderful place, so I think I deserve a drink. I should try to taste one of these.
We're going to start you with the
So I'm somewhat of a novice. Tell me, what should I be tasting here?
So you should be tasting certainly the rye, the base ingredients for sure. Then afterwards, you should be able to taste a little bit of sweetness from the Sauternes, a little bit of, umami flavor from the port, and then a nice finish with the Madeira.
Oh, that's delicious. Mm-hmm. And so folks can come in here to Sire and enjoy this at any time in a flight, right? So they can have a few at a time.
That's correct. What you have in front of you is ideally our single barrel flight. We have everything that we've purchased, and it's about a 2-ounce pour, so you can try them all.
So you can grab a charcuterie board, maybe some cheese, and work your way through this wonderful flight that you guys have here. And I love that it's exclusive to La Cantera Resort and Spa.
Absolutely.
Very cool. We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for meeting with us
My
today.
pleasure.
And as if we haven't been spoiled enough already today, after all that, we get to come back and enjoy a cool drink and a beautiful hill country sunset. Cheers from La Cantera Resort and Spa. And of course, we couldn't come to San Antonio without calling up our good friend Tangi Patton. She's an Alamo City expert, and she's sharing her tips. Road Trippin' from San Antonio continues after the break.
It's only a matter.
Well, now, obviously, we couldn't come to San Antonio without speaking to, you know who calls you the unofficial mayor of San Antonio?
No.
I do. So obviously, we had to
flattered.
talk to Tangi Patton. You're a fixture of the San Antonio food and wine and fun scene. So we thought we'd get some tips from you. Thanks for being here.
Oh, well, welcome to our hood here.
It's so beautiful. And you know, this spot here in the hill country, really, what a beautiful place. We thought we'd pick your brain to find some out-of-the-box things to do when you're in this area.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the spot we're at, when people come to San Antonio, most people, or a lot of people, let's say, have been here before.
Sure.
And of course, the Riverwalk is the #1 destination. We can talk about that in just a minute. But if you're looking for a different kind of experience for San Antonio and for Texas and the hill country, I love staying at La Cantera because you are literally at the foothills of the hill country.
Yeah.
And once you break out of that box and start exploring the beauty of the hill country, there's so many things food-wise, the wineries, the breweries.
Oh, speaking of
small
wine,
town charm.
Very good point. Cheers.
Yes,
Because
cheers.
you're right here and you can explore all of those wonderful things.
Right, it's all at your back door. So this is a great place to start to see a different side of the city.
I think that's a great idea. So if we are going to venture into some of the more popular areas, go downtown, maybe hit the Riverwalk, I'm hearing that we should probably have a margarita because that's pretty important to
yes.
San Antonians.
Absolutely.
San Antonians?
San Antonians.
Great.
Yeah. Alamo City dwellers.
I like that.
So yeah, you've got to go to the Riverwalk, absolutely. And you have to have a margarita when you come to San Antonio. I mean, that is the drink we're known for. San Antonio will tell you they invented the margarita. There's a couple of other places that lay claim to it, but I'm loyal that we did it here. So my favorite and the most popular in the city is the prickly pear margarita at Boudreauxs.
Ooh,
so you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Excellent.
You know, you go to Boudreauxs and then have their prickly pear margarita.
Prickly pear margarita, I love that.
So good.
And you were talking about, I know you are a fan of a meal with a view. And there's a great spot with the botanical gardens, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime Mike and I travel, we plan the city of where we're going and we plan the food before we plan anything else. So I'm kind of thinking, coming from that perspective,
yeah.
As I talk to you, I love the botanical gardens. They have gone through an incredible renovation. It's a beautiful venue. If you love nature's bounty. I mean, there's a gorgeous rose garden. They do some things with tropical. They have ideas for your lawn if you're looking for water-saving ideas and landscape that works in this part of the world.
Handy.
So it's educational as well, but rosellas for lunch there, or brunch.
Oh, that's a great idea. And of course, when you talk about San Antonio, heritage, culture, history is something that's really huge here.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, of any other city in the state, this is where so much of our state's beginnings happened, right. And there's so many. It's a very multicultural city. There's a wide range of things in that regard. One of my favorite things to be sure people see is, of course, the Alamo, but the missions.
Oh yeah, okay, excellent.
That too. I mean, it's like in the last 10 years, the city has spent really well-needed resources on the beautiful historic spots we have. The missions, is a UNESCO site now.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they've really done some nice things with biking trails and hiking trails. So if you're into, seeing things on 2 wheels,
yeah.
And it's easy to do now, that's a great venue for families or adults. And the missions are stunning, they truly are.
Oh, I love that. Those are some really great ideas. Any last words, professional tips? How can people get the most out of San Antonio in this area?
I think see the Riverwalk, get into the culture. I think if you talk to the locals, find out what the locals like to do. Where do they like to dine? Yeah. You're at a great venue here because if they're into the shopping, the shops at La Cantera are just at your back door. You've got all kinds of things. Access to downtown is just a straight shot down I-10. See it all, but talk to the locals. The locals will tell you and send you in good directions and maybe to places you hadn't thought of. And by all means, get to the wine country. I know you love your Napa wines, but you've got to experience what Texas offers.
Yeah.
And do a margarita on the river.
That is wonderful. Wine, locals, margaritas, and missions.
Yeah.
Tangi Patton, thank you for these wonderful insider tips. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Have a good stay.
Thank you. Oh, we will now. When Tangi Patton gives you a restaurant recommendation, well, you better take her up on it, and we sure are. We're checking out Boudreauxs on the Riverwalk. We're going to try out their top 2 items, the prickly pear margarita and their tableside guac. More road trip in San Antonio is coming up. Here's another SAT Extra. San Antonio's famous Riverwalk actually grew out of a need to protect the city from disastrous flooding. But with a lot of community support, some imagination, and even a few Disney engineers, they managed to turn it into a major tourist attraction and vibrant center of city culture.
Road Trip in San Antonio continues after the break.
This is a legal
segment is sponsored by Boudreauxs Texas Bistro on the Riverwalk.
For more than 30 years, locals and visitors alike have been coming down to the Riverwalk to dine at Boudreauxs. It's a Texas bistro with an unbeatable ambiance, and we're going to go meet the team that makes it happen every day.
I joined Boudreauxs in 1989, and so we've been together for a long time. And today it's more like a Texas bistro. We changed a little bit to a Boudreauxs, and a lot of original recipes are from Louisiana, and with a mix of French cuisine. We have grown, made a small transition from being a Cajun restaurant to becoming more American Southwest steaks and seafood, and we are bistro style. All our seafood comes from the Gulf of Mexico. There's a couple items like salmon and so comes from the Atlantic Ocean. The produce that we use is high quality produce, you know, trying to get as much locally obviously these days. The lunch menu, it's a little bit more diversified. We have great salads to some Tex-Mex dishes, some empanada with langoustine, to a blue crepe tostada. It switches over at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and then we go to a full dinner menu, which it's steaks and seafood, basically. We also know for the tableside guacamole is freshly prepared at the table, and it's sort of one of this tradition when the first thing they get, okay, we got to get a tableside guacamole before we even start our dinner.
The food at Boudreauxs is terrific, take it from me, but it's also an experience. It's located right in the middle of the Riverwalk, making your visit to this famous spot much more than just a meal.
And we get a lot of great customers, you know, not only locals, like I said, but we have people from all over the walks of the world. We're in a historic building here from the 1800s. The ambience is just really nice. It makes part of what we are. You know, we have inside dining, we got a patio dining, you can dine on the Riverwalk as well. And we also offer some dinner cruises, what we call a community barge, where it is available just about every night. You don't have to book the entire barge for yourself. The barge can seat up to 20 guests and reserve a boat for a family event or private party. So the experience is that you get the actual feel of San Antonio, being out here outdoors. Well, if you come to San Antonio to visit the Riverwalk, you know, you must stop at Boudreauxs. I definitely think you got to try one of our prickly pear margaritas. Start off with a fresh tableside guacamole, and then, you know, have some of the great food that we have. Service is great, and you know, we're trying to be just a good ambassador for the Riverwalk.
Coming up, it's not just guacamole, it's an appetizer and a show. See how Boudreauxs' famous tableside guac gets made when Road Trippin' San Antonio continues after the break. This segment is sponsored by Boudreauxs Texas Bistro on the Riverwalk.
All right, Melanie, I think you guys probably know this, but when you tell anybody out on the street that you're coming to Boudreauxs in San Antonio, they tell you 2 things. One, you have to get the prickly pear margarita.
Yes, sir.
Done. And the second thing is your tableside guacamole. This is so cool. This is something that's really requested, right?
Yes, everybody that comes into Boudreauxs knows they have to start off with a tableside guacamole. So I'll go ahead and get this started for us.
I love that, Melanie. Let's do it. And tell me kind of as you make it, what goes into this and kind of what makes it so special.
Okay, absolutely. Right. So we'll go ahead and I'll let you feel some of these avocados here. So these are perfectly ripe avocados.
Yes. They're in that moment between the one day and the second day when they're finally good, that window.
And that's what I always tell people, when you make your guacamole that day. So don't buy an avocado and say 3 days from now, I'm going to make my guacamole then. Say, I'm going to get this avocado and I'm going to make it today. So it's perfectly ripe and ready to go.
Guys, these are perfect.
So now that we've squeezed our avocados and found a good one, we're going to go ahead and get started here.
Excellent.
So this is the hardest part here, which is taking the pit out of the avocado.
Oh, though you make it look so easy.
That, and it is. So when you have a perfectly ripe avocado, it's going to be really easy to just pop that right out. So we'll get that taken out.
I wish I could do that at home.
Scoop that out. See, nice and easy.
And it's perfectly ripe. You're exactly right.
All right. So we're going to start with half a tablespoon of our kosher sea salt.
Excellent.
We're going to get that seasoned there. And then we're going to come over here. And we're going to do our orange. So we have half of an orange there. We're going to go ahead and squeeze that over.
Now that's really special. I don't always see orange in the guacamole. Is that something that's unique to you guys?
It is. That's kind of a Boudreauxs specialty. It adds just another citrus flavor. It has just a little bit of sweetness to it. So we are going to add the traditional lime juice, of course.
Oh,
so we're
yeah.
going to do half of a lime, and we're going to add 3 teaspoons of our fire-roasted Roma tomatoes.
Oh, so tell me what is in here exactly.
So that's going to be just a mixture of a little bit of our fire-roasted serrano peppers and then our fire-roasted Roma tomatoes. So we make these in-house every couple of hours. So
I bet you go through quite a bit of that in a day.
We do. That's every few hours you're going to see all the smoke coming out of the kitchen from fire roasting our fresh tomatoes.
Oh, that's wonderful. And every couple hours. That's awesome.
It is. And so next is going to be a little bit of our red onion.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're going to do 2 teaspoons of that. And then we're going to add a little bit of our cilantro here.
I am a cilantro kind of guy. I think you cannot have a great guac or salsa without it.
There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get our avocado cut up in here.
Now this is something to witness, guys. Very, very skilled happening.
And then if there is any questions over our recipe, we do have our full recipe on our website at boudreauxs.com. So if we missed anything, you can absolutely go back and check on that.
That's excellent. You can try to make it at home. I will tell you, I think there's something a little special about having it made right here on the Riverwalk. But it's good to know we can try.
All right. And then how do you feel about spice? Do you want to make it a little spicy? You can add some of our serranos.
I like a little bit of spice in there.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're gonna add, I won't burn you up here, we'll add a little bit of heat.
And tell me what this is again?
Those are fire roasted serrano peppers. So just like the tomatoes, we're gonna fire roast those over our wood burning grill every couple of hours.
Wow, that's special. And I love that you kind of give people a choice, so that's great. I'll take spicy.
Absolutely, we do it to your liking. So if you're absolutely a spicy eater, we can definitely burn you up with those peppers.
Excellent.
All right, so we're gonna get this wiped off here, and then we're all done.
Wow, that is amazing. Melanie, you're very good at this. I have to ask, how many times do you think you have made tableside guacamole?
Oh gosh, so you have to pretty much think that every table that comes in is going to order the guacamole, so that is a good amount of guacamole throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, and throughout the year.
I bet it is. Well, you are certainly a pro, and that looks amazing.
Yeah. All right, so let's get a chip here, and we'll taste that. All right, and here's our finished product.
That is beautiful. Made with love by Melanie right here on the Riverwalk. One thing left to do is taste test it. And of course, Melanie mentioned that you can find the recipe for Boudreauxs' famous tableside guac at boudreauxs.com. And while you're there, check out their menu and plan your next trip for your perfect Riverwalk dinner. All right, the official taste test of the tableside guac made with love by Melanie. All right, here we go. Ready, guys? It's the best guacamole, friends. It really is.
Thank you.
Melanie, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
You guys got to get this stuff. Wow, he's even taller than me, believe it or not. But that's the whole point here at Ripley's, believe it or not, San Antonio. We're going to explore the auditorium full of the strange and unusual for a unique experience you won't find anywhere else. More road tripping from San Antonio is coming up. Here's another SAT Extra. San Antonio is celebrating 300 years. In fact, it's one of the top 20 oldest cities in the United States. But San Antonians are awfully proud of their present and their future, too. They really love their NBA team, the Spurs, and it's home to one of America's greatest traditions and this city's signature festival, Fiesta. And they claim, even though some Austinites might disagree, that they invented the breakfast taco.
Attention.
This segment is sponsored by Ripley Entertainment, Inc.
Ruben, thanks for having us out to Ripley's, believe it or not.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
This is so cool. You know what I can't get over is the Alamo is right there. Like you were really in the heat of the action.
We are. We've been on Alamo Plaza for 30 years now.
Wow.
We just celebrated our 30th anniversary on the plaza.
Cool.
And as a company, we've just celebrated our 100th year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Since the first Ripley cartoon went out.
That is very cool. Been doing this a long time, and it shows because you've got so much great stuff. And just here alone on Alamo Plaza, you have a few options for families to have fun.
We do. We actually offer 3 great attractions. We have a Ripley's Auditorium. We have a wax museum. We also have a moving theater. All fun and family friendly.
Yeah, right here on Alamo Plaza. I think that is so cool. I will have to say, though, I think the thing that you are known best for is the auditorium full of cool stuff. We're at the entrance. You say we go in and take a look at some of your weird and unusual?
Yes, sir. Be our guest.
Very cool. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Thanks. Well, Ruben, here we are. I'm directly underneath a gator or a crocodile. I'm not sure which one, but this is what it's all about in the auditorium. This is so cool. And this is just one of many areas.
Yes, we have multiple galleries with hundreds of artifacts in each room. We have things from all over the world. There's a lot of pieces of history. We even have a huge portion of the Berlin Wall that you can walk up to and see. We have the car that Lee Harvey Oswald rode in the day that he did assassinate JFK.
Wow.
So lots of fascinating stuff in here.
Really interesting stuff. And what's neat is it's all been curated from really around the world throughout time.
Yeah.
That's what Mr. Ripley himself was really passionate about.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I would say personally, I think Robert Ripley is probably the most fascinating asset of the entire thing.
Yeah.
He is the most fascinating thing to me, based purely on all the adventures that he went on to find these items over the years and throughout his lifetime.
And speaking of unique, what's cool about Ripley's, believe it or not, is even if you maybe have been to an auditorium in another town, we can pretty much guarantee that you haven't seen what's here.
Yeah, actually, every oddity that you see is an authentic piece. It's one of a kind. You're going to see shrunken heads. You got to think about it. A shrunken head is somebody just like you and me walking around one day, and then they came across the wrong jungle.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you see a lot of really unique, interesting, fascinating stuff in here.
And it's in the name. It's Ripley's Believe It or Not.
That's
which
right.
kind of means...
Well, basically it means whether you believe it or not, it's real. So you'll see a lot of strange stuff that is in fact real.
And we already have today, and I know there's lots more strange stuff to see. So Ruben, I say you and I take off and explore more of Ripley's Believe It or Not, and you can explore Ripley's Believe It or Not online to plan your trip here in San Antonio. And if you tell them you saw it on We Are Austin, you'll get $3 off a combo ticket. Well, Alamo City has been awesome. We had a lot of fun trying some new things on this road trip. Here's a look back at the places we visited so you can plan your own San Antonio getaway. Well, that's a wrap for Road Trippin' San Antonio. Remember, you can watch these segments and the entire show at cbsaustin.com. And for lots of fun behind-the-scenes extras, head to our social media accounts. Well, we're packing up and hitting the road back to Austin until our next Road Trippin' adventure. See you guys. Oh, sorry. He is awake. 4. Not really. We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You know who calls you the unofficial